Women don't withdraw because they lose interest. They withdraw to test if you'll collapse or stand still. Think about that for a second. You see her silence, her delay in replying, and your chest tightens. You feel the urge to chase. But here's the brutal truth. The moment you chase, you lose. The moment you wait, you win. Why? Because desire is built on tension, not availability. Have you ever texted 3 times, panicked after no reply, and wondered what went wrong? Let me tell you a story. He sent her a message at midnight, staring at the screen for hours. No response. Heart racing. But he didn't explode. He didn't grovel. He measured, stayed still, and carried on with his life. 3 days later, she smiled at him in a coffee shop. Curiosity sparked. That's how power works in silence. He didn't beg, he observed. He didn't chase, he maintained standards. That's the first reframing. Your energy communicates far more than words ever could. Your stillness is louder than her words. She tests, she pulls, she waits to see if you'll panic. And here's the kicker. Most men do. Most men crumble, send frantic texts, and apologize for existing. Don't be most men. Rhetorical question. When she goes quiet, do you react like a child or a man who understands the game? Every withdrawal, every pause is a test, not a rejection, not a judgment on your worth. It's a psychological lever. And here's the rule. If he panics, you lose. If he stands still, you reclaim control. Simple, ruthless, effective. Another reframing. He didn't overthink. He acted on principle. He didn't seek approval. He embodied value. That's the mindset you need. You cannot control her, but you can control yourself. And self-control in this arena, it's magnetic. She senses it instantly. She tests it instantly. And if you pass, you ascend without a word. Rhetorical question. Are you going to chase every pause, or are you going to master your presence? Stop reacting to her energy. Start generating yours. Let her pull. Let her wonder. Let her question. Your silence is a signal of strength. Your calm a weapon. She doesn't test the weak. She tests her strength. And if you pass, she notices. Not because you begged, not because you pleaded, but because you stood still. Remember the story. He didn't text 3 more times. He didn't spiral. He sipped his coffee, worked on his projects, and let time do its work. When she came back, curious, he was calm, unshaken, unbending. That's how you flip the game. That's how withdrawal becomes your ally, not your enemy. He didn't compromise, he upheld his standards. He didn't chase validation, he commanded attention through presence. That's the brutal truth. Every man avoiding desperation must understand your reaction or lack thereof is your signal. Stand still, measure, observe. Your silence is louder than panic. And she will notice. Women's withdrawal isn't personal. It's a tool, a lever designed to measure your composure, your standards, your presence. Do you crumble under silence, or do you stand unshaken? Your reaction or your calm defines the game. Picture this. He sent one message, waited hours, then went back to his life. No panic, no overthinking. Later she reached out curious. He didn't chase, he observed. He didn't beg, he maintained his life. That micro moment decided more than any words could. Rhetorical question. When she steps back, do you see rejection or opportunity? Every withdrawal is a test, and tests are meant to reveal who you are under pressure. If he panics, you lose ground. If he stands still, you reclaim it. Simple, brutal, effective. He didn't obsess, he trusted his value. He didn't seek approval, he embodied presence. That's the mental framework you need. Stillness, strategy, high standards. These turn her pulls into signals, not obstacles. Ask yourself, are you reacting to her? Or are you orchestrating your own life? The men who master this don't chase. They observe. They don't bend. They command. They don't beg. They align. And every test becomes a mirror, reflecting their power back to them. Withdrawal isn't rejection. It's a curiosity. It's testing. It's a subtle measure of power. Her way of asking, will he crumble or will he hold? Most men see silence and panic. They text again. They over-explain. They grovel. Why? Because they confuse absence with loss. Think about it. Why does leaving you space create more tension than constant presence? Because scarcity sparks desire. Because mystery demands attention. Because a man who responds to every signal loses the game before it even begins. He texted 3 times, panicked after no reply. She saw nothing wrong. She wasn't distant. She was measuring his reaction. The moment he didn't chase, curiosity flickered back in her eyes. She leaned in mentally, not physically. He didn't beg. He observed. He didn't overcompensate. He maintained composure. Rhetorical question: when she goes quiet, are you reacting or are you leading? Every withdrawal, every pause is a subtle test of your value. If he panics, you lose. Stand still, you reclaim control. That's the rule. Simple, ruthless, effective. Micro patterns reveal the truth. Delayed replies, sudden silence, abrupt topic shifts. These aren't attacks, they're probes. Most men misread them as rejection. The strong man reads them as signals. He sees energy, timing, intention. He didn't chase, he measured. He didn't collapse, he held his standard. This is the mental edge. Stillness is your weapon. Observing without reacting shows higher value. It communicates power without words. Ask yourself, are you chasing ghosts or are you commanding reality? Withdrawal exposes weakness in the untrained. It amplifies composure in the preparation. Pause, step back, hold your life, your energy, your confidence. She notices, she respects me. She tests again, but now on your terms. Desire grows when availability shrinks. That's Schopenhauer's law in action. The less you are there, the more they feel the pull. Yet most men see absence and panic. They misread silence as rejection, as failure, as a personal attack. But it's not. It's leverage. It's a signal. Would you chase a man if he never chased you? Think about that. If he remained calm, confident, and untouchable, wouldn't desire grow naturally? That's the hidden power most men never grasp. Standing still is active, not passive. It's the ultimate move in a game. Most think they need to overplay. She stopped replying for 3 days. He stared at his phone, stomach tightening. Anxiety crept in, but he didn't see absence as opportunity. He saw panic. She smiled later. Her test passed when he didn't bend. That micro story illustrates the point. His stillness became magnetic. He didn't chase. He observed. He didn't obsess. He maintained his life. Rhetorical question: when she withdraws, do you collapse or do you command your own reality? Every pause is a mirror reflecting your value. If he obsesses, you evaporate. If he observes, you ascend. Simple, harsh, effective. He didn't overanalyze. He trusted his presence. He didn't beg for attention. He embodied value. That's the mental architecture you must build. Absence isn't absence. It's a tool, a lever, a test. Responding to it with panic diminishes attraction. Responding with composure amplifies it. Ask yourself, Are you reacting to her, or are you orchestrating desire through your own stillness? Let her pull, let her wonder, let her question. Your calm, your life, your indifference to panic becomes a silent signal of power. Desire doesn't need chasing, it needs gravity, and gravity belongs to the man who stands still. When she withdraws, two outcomes emerge: collapse or stillness. Most men collapse. They text again, over-explaining, begging for attention, trying to fill the silence with words. Desperation oozes from every keystroke. Every notification becomes a test they fail before even realizing it. Do you want to be remembered as desperate or rare? That's the choice. Stillness communicates value without a single word. It's silent, magnetic, and dangerous in its simplicity. Self-focus, selective engagement, measured presence. These aren't passive moves. They are active power plays. He called again, voice shaking, hands trembling. Silence answered him. She heard nothing but clarity in his composure. He didn't panic. He didn't beg for a response. He maintained life, work, and dignity, and she respected him for it. That micro moment spoke louder than any text or emoji ever could. Rhetorical question: when faced with withdrawal, are you reacting or commanding? Your energy alone signals value. Desire is amplified by mystery, by restraint. She can feel it. Every pause, every measured step communicates that you're untouchable, not arrogant but unmoved by impulse. He didn't grovel, he observed. He didn't collapse, he maintained standards. That's the key reframing. Panic diminishes attraction. Composure multiplies it. One is fleeting, the other cements presence. Your stillness is a mirror reflecting strength, and it draws her attention like gravity. Micropsychology is brutal but simple. Mystery creates craving. Absence creates tension. Composure creates respect. Every reaction dilutes value. Every pause builds it. If he panics, you disengage. If he maintains, you attract. That's the iron rule. No exceptions, no excuses. Ask yourself, are you scrambling for approval, or are you constructing desire through discipline? Do you chase every heartbeat, or do you let her curiosity chase you? The men who master this game do not flinch. They act as if silence is their ally, because it is. Their energy radiates independence. Their value speaks louder than words. He didn't apologize for being busy. He lived his life fully. He didn't over-explain. He trusted the effect of his presence. That's the brutal reality most men avoid, but the rare few internalize. Desire doesn't need chase. It needs a man who understands himself, his standards, and the power of his stillness. Every withdrawal is a mirror, and every reaction is either a distortion or a declaration. Choose to be rare. Choose to stand still. Choose to let her tension serve your gravity. Collapse, and you vanish. Stand still, and you become unforgettable. Timing is your weapon. Every instant you respond, you reveal more than you intend. Immediate replies destroy attraction. They scream need, panic, dependence. Desire isn't built in urgency. It's sculpted in patience. Every delay, every pause, every measured moment compounds tension. Do you want to serve her or serve yourself? That's the question few men ask. 3 days passed. He sent one message, calm, confident, no emojis, no over-explaining, no begging. She opened it and smiled. No panic, no fluster, just a man who measured time as a weapon. That micro story isn't hypothetical. It's reality for men who understand strategic patience. Rhetorical question: when she tests you, are you reacting or are you orchestrating? Every subtle cue, a pause in texting, a vague response, a delayed reply is a signal. Most men misread them, panic, and ruin the game. But the prepared man reads patterns, interprets energy, and lets desire incubate silently. He didn't rush, he waited. He didn't overanalyze, he observed. That's the first reframing. Response timing communicates value far louder than words ever could. The art of patience isn't passivity, it's an active strategy. It's letting her curiosity chase you while you maintain life, standards, and composure. Micro-patterns teach more than lectures. Tone, timing, energy. These subtle cues reveal intent. If you respond instantly to every trigger, you surrender control. If you calibrate your timing, you lead the dance without stepping forward. If he rushes, you vanish. If he waits, you lead. That's the unspoken rule. Harsh, but true. Ask yourself, are you available on demand, or are you constructing tension like a sculptor? Each pause you allow is a signal of discipline. Each measured response is gravity. Men who understand timing don't chase. They attract. They don't bend. They command. Their energy alone signals value. He didn't text 3 more times. He didn't obsess over silence. He trusted the effect of absence and patience. She noticed. She was respected. Desire grew silently, naturally, powerfully. That's how time becomes a weapon. That's how restraint creates attraction. That's how stillness in action outperforms frantic reaction. Rhetorical question: are you feeding the illusion of need, or are you orchestrating curiosity, desire, and respect? The moment you respond correctly, you shift the power dynamic. Silence, timing, composure, these are the instruments of attraction. Master them, and every pause she tests you with becomes an opportunity, not a threat. He didn't panic. He led. He didn't bend. He held standards. Every pause reinforced his presence. Every measured reply expanded his influence. Time in skilled hands is not neutral. It's a weapon, a mirror, a magnifier of value. Men who wield it dominate without aggression. Men who ignore it collapse under silence. Tactics are temporary. Standards endure. Most men chase with clever lines, tricks, and strategies. They flirt to impress, to bait, to manipulate. High-value men don't play games. They live by a code. They act according to internal standards, not external approval. Are you bending for her validation or holding your standard? That's the brutal truth. He walked past her when she tried to lure him into drama. Eyes flashing, words sharp, a trap disguised as flirtation. He didn't engage. He didn't overreact. She didn't need to chase him. She had to match his level or lose interest. That micro-story demonstrates the power of standards over tactics. Respect is drawn, not demanded. He didn't chase attention. He maintained autonomy. He didn't compromise principles. He commanded presence. Every subtle action, every pause, every measured move signals value far louder than 1,000 words. Your availability isn't currency. Your standards are. The man who bends loses gravity. The man who holds his standard dominates. Rhetorical question: are you adjusting yourself to fit her whims, or are you setting the rhythm of interaction? Tactics will fail under stress. Lines fade. Tricks are exposed. But standards anchor attraction. They communicate stability, confidence, and non-negotiable worth. They make desire inevitable. Micro-patterns reinforce this silently. You don't over-text. You don't over-appear. You allow space, but not absence. Subtle pursuit is measured by life, energy, and focus, never by desperation. You operate on principle, not impulse. You act in alignment with who you are, not what you hope she wants. He didn't respond to provocation. He observed. He didn't argue to prove value. He demonstrated it. Every micro-decision reinforced his authority. Every small act, from ignoring petty drama to maintaining composure under tests, amplified attraction. The strongest men don't need to prove. They reveal. Rhetorical question: are you negotiating respect, or are you claiming it by living unshakable standards? When you uphold your code, everything shifts. People adjust, tests fail, desire strengthens, standards act like gravity, pulling attention, admiration, and influence toward the man who refuses to compromise. If he compromises standards, he crumbles. If he upholds them, he dominates. No negotiation, no rationalization. Every choice communicates either weakness or power. You're either a man who people follow unconsciously, or a man who chases validation and loses it. Microstory integration. A woman tried to provoke jealousy through subtle manipulations. He remained calm, engaged with his work, and maintained boundaries. By the evening, she was intrigued, curious, and respectful. He didn't chase drama, he lived standards. That's how desire anchors in reality, not fiction. This is the brutal call. Tactics fade, charisma can be faked, tricks can be rigged, but standards, they are inseparable from who you are. Live them, embody them. Every choice reinforces them. Every test confirms them. Your life, your rules, your presence. This is what commands attraction, respect, and influence. He didn't adapt to win. He stayed consistent. He didn't apologize for being rare. He thrived in it. That rare energy, grounded, untouchable, magnetic, is the currency of power. Men who live standards, not tactics, become unforgettable. They aren't hunted. They attract. Not every pause is rejection. Not every silence is abandonment. Distinguishing testing from genuine disengagement is the difference between collapse and mastery. Do you react to every shadow or see the pattern? Men who panic at every delay give away their power before understanding what's happening. Her reply came hours later, ambiguous, half-hearted in tone. He didn't explode. He didn't apologize. He observed, adjusted, stayed composed. By the evening, her messages mirrored his calm, confident tone. That micro-story illustrates the brutal psychology. Your energy dictates the response you receive. She calibrates to your rhythm, not the other way around. Microsigns matter: tone, timing, energy. The pauses, the subtle shifts, the sudden change in tempo, these aren't attacks, they're data. Most men overreact, misread signals, and collapse into chaos. The strong man observes, processes, and aligns his reaction with principle. Schopenhauer reminds us, absence makes the heart calibrate. When you step back, desire adjusts to your presence. He didn't chase, he measured. He didn't react emotionally, he controlled. That's the first reframing. Your calmness reshapes perception instantly. Every pause you maintain, every unshaken step you take, signals higher value. Your composure communicates what words cannot. Panic communicates the opposite. Rhetorical question: are you folding under every hint of doubt, or are you interpreting reality correctly? Signals are tools. Noise is a distraction. The man who reads correctly gains leverage. Misread, and you fold. Observe, and you control. Every ambiguous reply, every delayed text, every half response is a micro-test. Your response, or lack thereof, decides the outcome. If he misreads, he folds. If he observes, he controls. No exceptions, no rationalizations. You're either mastering the signals or surrendering your influence. He didn't escalate, he maintained a tone. He didn't overcompensate, he embodied calm. That distinction is everything. Men who interpret signals correctly turn withdrawal into attraction. Men who overreact accelerate disengagement. Your perception, your patience, your measured actions shape reality faster than words ever could. Ask yourself, are you reacting to the illusion of need or orchestrating the rhythm of interaction? Every subtle cue can be leveraged. Every moment of stillness is a statement. Your energy dictates the response. Your composure sets the standard. Observing, measuring, responding on principle, that's how you dominate the microdynamics of desire. He didn't chase clarity, he allowed it to emerge. He didn't panic at ambiguity, he trusted absence to calibrate attention. She aligned with him, mirrored his tone, respected his rhythm. That's the brutal advantage of reading signals correctly. Control isn't forced, it's claimed. Silence speaks louder than words. Every man who rushes to fill pauses loses before he knows it. Stillness isn't passive, it's the ultimate seduction. Your calm, measured presence communicates power more effectively than any compliment, any text, any emoji. Would you chase what seems untouchable? Of course not. That's why it works. He didn't respond immediately. Hours passed. She wondered, calculated, and returned curiosity with her own energy. The game had flipped in his favor. That micro-story isn't luck. It's a principle. He didn't panic, he waited. He didn't over-explain, he commanded without moving a muscle. Desire, tension, attraction, they all escalated silently. Rhetorical question: when she tests, are you reacting or are you orchestrating the rhythm? Every pause is a tool. Every delay is a signal. Men who understand this convert non-reaction into influence, into allure, into magnetic presence. The moment you respond with urgency, you surrender the advantage. He didn't chase, he observed. He didn't bend, he maintained standards. That's the reframing. Reaction diminishes, patience elevates. Non-engagement is a weapon. Silence is active. Stillness is seduction. The more controlled your energy, the stronger the pull. She mirrors calm with curiosity, admiration, and subtle pursuit. Micro-patterns show the effect. Subtle glances, delayed messages, thoughtful replies. Each is amplified by your unshakable composure. Patience transforms perceived value. You aren't just waiting, you're sculpting desire, demonstrating confidence, and communicating standards without uttering a single word. If he reacts, he loses. If he waits, he wins. That rule is ironclad. Every overreaction chips away at presence. Every measured moment builds authority. Your energy dictates the tempo. Your calm sets the standard. Your stillness shapes attraction. Ask yourself, are you filling silence to prove worth? Or are you allowing tension to work in your favor? Every man who masters this understands that influence is earned in restraint, not effort. Non-reaction isn't avoidance. It's the highest form of engagement. He didn't rush clarity. He let it unfold. He didn't overcommit to validation. He demonstrated value silently, and she adjusted, mirrored, and leaned in. Non-reaction is seductive because it commands without demand. It creates curiosity, tension, and desire. The man who masters this wins quietly, powerfully, inevitably. Not every withdrawal is a test. Some disappearances are final. Patterns reveal reality. Are you chasing signals or smoke? Men confuse absence with opportunity, wasting energy on illusions. Recognizing real disengagement protects your time, dignity, and self-respect. She vanished for weeks. No curiosity, no flicker of interest. He paused, measured, and walked away. 1 week later, clarity hit. He avoided months of chasing an illusion. That micro story isn't luck, it's awareness. He didn't plead, he preserved. He didn't panic, he protected his energy. Rhetorical question: when she's gone, are you reacting to hope or reading reality? Microsigns tell the story. Consistent silence, zero effort, no engagement. Testing has rhythm, disengagement is void. Recognizing the difference separates men who maintain value from men who collapse into chasing. He didn't overanalyze, he observed. He didn't justify absence, he adjusted. That's the reframing. Withdrawal is a mirror, but only if you know the reflection. Misread it, and you burn. Read it correctly, and you preserve. Patterns of loss are blunt. No curiosity, no return messages, no energy matching yours. Temporary testing is subtle. Delays, slight ambiguity, small pauses, but engagement returns. Real loss is a vacuum. Protect yourself. Walk away before wasting months, hope and pride on someone unavailable. If he chases noise, he burns. If he observes, he preserves. That rule is harsh, but truth is harsher. Energy is currency. Attention is power. Wasted pursuit destroys both. Understanding disengagement isn't pessimism, it's strategic foresight. Ask yourself, are you investing in reality or chasing fantasy? Every man who recognizes the difference preserves time, self-respect, and energy. Every man who misreads patterns sacrifices all three. Step back, measure, decide based on patterns, not panic. He didn't chase absence, he honored presence. He didn't react to emptiness, he prioritized substance. That discernment turns potential frustration into clarity. Recognize disengagement, cut losses gracefully, and maintain your standards. Respect is preserved, not begged for. Your energy is currency. Every reaction you give, every chase, every moment of validation spent on her response diminishes your value. Composure amplifies desire more than words ever could. Are you living for her reaction or your evolution? That's the pivot few men grasp. He thrived in work, friends, and goals. She reached out, curiosity sparked, not because he chased, not because he proved himself, because he commanded his life. That micro story isn't hypothetical, it's principle. He didn't pause for approval, he advanced his mission. He didn't bend for attention, he radiated independence. Rhetorical question: are you shrinking to meet someone else's mood, or are you expanding into your own power? Every measured step, every maintained boundary, every disciplined focus communicates attraction. Silent. The man who masters this doesn't need tricks. He becomes the standard others measure themselves against. He didn't chase validation, he maintained autonomy. He didn't react to uncertainty, he commanded presence. That's the reframing. Attraction follows energy, not approval. Desire flows toward composure, influence accrues to consistency, respect aligns with independence. Micro patterns reinforce the law. You engage from life, not need. You lead with standards, not desperation. You exist fully, and the world, including those testing your value, responds. Observation, measurement, maintenance, these are the tools. Master them, and influence is inevitable. If he seeks validation, he diminishes. If he commands energy, he magnetizes. That rule is absolute. Every reaction to approval weakens gravity. Every silent assertion of presence strengthens it. Men who command energy pull attention without effort. Men who chase approval push it away. Ask yourself, are you constructing life as a vessel of power, or constructing moments to please? Measure your influence. Maintain your standards. Master your energy. This is the final principle. Attraction is a reflection of your life, not her actions. Stand tall. Live fully. Command silently. The rest follows. He didn't chase, he measured. Pause. Feel the weight of that. Most men sprint at every pause, every delay, every silence. Not him. He calculated. He observed patterns. You do the same. You embody stillness. You reclaim power. He didn't panic. He observed. Pause. Panic destroys presence. Observation builds it. He watched the subtle cues, tone, timing, energy. He didn't react to illusion. He responded to reality. Rhetorical question. Are you collapsing in the shadows or reading the pattern? He didn't apologize, he evaluated. Pause. No groveling, no overcompensation. He assessed the situation. Every absence, every micro behavior became data. She mirrored his calm. Micro story. She waited for his reaction, expecting panic. He stayed silent, focused on life. Her curiosity ignited. He didn't chase validation. He commanded attention. He didn't bend. He held standard. Pause. Standards are gravity. Men who bend for approval dilute value. He didn't adjust for comfort. He adjusted for principle. If he compromises, he loses. If he holds, he dominates. That's the law. He didn't over-explain. He let tension speak. Pause. Silence is seductive. Mystery is magnetic. He communicated power without words. Every micro-behavior reinforced his worth. Desire intensified under measured absence. The Schopenhauer principle in action. What is withheld amplifies attention. Rhetorical question. Are you reacting to every signal or orchestrating the tempo of attraction? He didn't chase, panic, apologize, bend, or over-explain. He mastered the rhythm. Imagine him in a room, untouched by panic, unmoved by need, standing tall. His presence draws attention, commands respect, and radiates calm authority. You mirror this. You claim it. You measure, observe, evaluate, hold, and allow silence to speak. Each pause you maintain, each standard you uphold, each observation you make intensifies desire. He didn't act on impulse. He acted on principle. You don't chase. You position. You don't plead. You project. You don't compromise. You command. Micro-story integration. She tested, withdrew, lingered, tried to provoke. He remained anchored in life, purpose, and energy. Her respect grew. Desire flickered. He didn't chase her energy. He maintained his own. That's the visceral image. Confident, untouchable, magnetic. He didn't collapse. He consolidated. He didn't react. He mastered. He didn't give. He commanded. That's the end game. You follow. You embody. You execute. Your power is quiet. Respect is drawn. Desire is earned through absence and measured presence. Behaviors do not define a person. Respect and consent are non-negotiable. Are you confusing control with manipulation, or are you mastering your own reactions? He didn't coerce, he observed boundaries. He didn't exploit, he maintained ethics. Imagine a man noticing a pullback, measuring his response, and choosing stillness instead of pressure. She tested, paused, expected panic, but he acted with principle. That micro-story illustrates the core truth. Influence is about mastery of self, not violation of others. If he chases without regard, he diminishes. If he responds with awareness, he preserves integrity. Your framework is for your reactions, not someone else's identity or rights. You measure, you wait, you maintain standards without ever overriding autonomy. Rhetorical question: are you proving power by bending rules? Or are you asserting it through disciplined presence? This is not about control, it's about clarity, composure, and respect. Ethics are the backbone of effectiveness. Desire, attraction, and influence only hold when built on consent and recognition of personal boundaries. He didn't push, he navigated. He didn't pressure, he mastered timing. He didn't react to manipulation, he responded with principle. Your power comes not from force, but from self-command and ethical engagement. This is the line that separates men who dominate through respect from those who crumble through recklessness.